Guys, welcome to a bit of a different video. Today, as you can see, Philip Cocu has parted company, and that's the key part of this. He hasn't been sacked, and it's been quite an agreeable leave from the club, and that's something that, you know, real testament to Cocu's character and who he is as a person. And I must say, like, if you put all the things that have happened over the last 16 months together, it's probably one of the most unlucky managerial. I think it's one of the most unlucky managerial experiences ever. I don't think any manager has had to come up with all the issues that have arisen in that time, and to even, you know, I know we're bottom of the table at the minute and things aren't looking good, but I think with what has been thrown at him, I think he's done really, really well. And, you know, I think other managers would have probably got us relegated last season. So yeah, it's one of those where it's really unfortunate to see him go, but I think it is the right decision. I think we're obviously a results-based business. As you can see at the minute, we're bottom of the table, and even like Sheffield Wednesday have -6. So, you know, if you take out that, you know, it's us, Wickham and Coventry, obviously newly promoted from League One. So I think it was the right decision. I just think it's just really unfortunate because all of the issues that have arisen over the last 16 months I think he's been at the club. I liked that he had a style of football. I like he had a vision, and the fact that he brought through so many youth players was brilliant, and that's probably one of his biggest positives. A few negatives, I don't know if it was in his control, but I think letting Chris Martin go on a free and not replacing him just was probably where it cost him the job at the end of the day. I think losing our best striker and not replacing him at all, just, you know, you can't really do that in the Championship. So I'm just going to go through a few potential future managers that we could look at. I think there's a number on this list that are actually quite interesting and potentially could happen. It's one of those things where we literally don't have a clue what the new owners are going to do, what their vision is, and what kind of financially what they're going to support the club with. So the new manager is really up for debate until, you know, it's pretty much confirmed. So first up, I'm literally just going to go through all these and kind of give my opinion. I think Rooney himself, he's going to be the interim for the time being. We'll see if he does all right against Bristol City and maybe Middlesbrough, but I don't know if the manager will be announced next week or not. But I think Rooney's just not got the experience at the minute. I don't think he's ready for it. I think we're in a relegation battle at the minute, and I don't think Rooney and John Terry, I don't think John Terry's either the kind of person I want at the club. So I think the first two that are, you know, with the highest odds to become the next manager, I just don't think they're the right people for the job. Eddie Howe would be a brilliant manager. However, I think he said he wanted a break from football, and since he only left at the start of August, I'm pretty sure, you know, like the few months that he's been away from Bournemouth, I don't think that's the kind of break he was looking for. I don't see him coming to a Championship team. I see Eddie Howe going to a team in the Premier League probably at the end of this season, so that will narrow him off this list. Paul Cook is definitely one that I'm looking at as a potential manager. He's currently not with the club and did really brilliantly with Wigan in that I think in 2020 Wigan were the best team in terms of points per game. So I think Paul Cook would be a very good sign. Obviously both Marshall and Byrne did play with him last season, so I think he'd definitely be one option to look at. Nigel Pearson just won't happen because of what happened last time, although there is going to be no Mel Morris now, so there's this anything could happen in football, but I just don't see Nigel Pearson coming back to the club. Although he would be the kind of, you know, he's the kind of Paul Cook style of manager that, you know, would get us out of the relegation zone and up the table. But I just think because of last time, I don't think he will come back. Daniel Kelly's an interesting one, but again, I don't think he did that well with Huddersfield. So I honestly don't know, but generally I don't think Cowley. Gary Monk, no, don't even bother with him. Don't bother with Wassall. Sam Allardyce, now here's another one that I'd love to come to the club because he's a results-based manager. You know, he's been promoted a number of times and never been relegated with a team, so that would be the dream choice in my opinion, because in terms of results, you know, the next year or two, that's the best thing we can get at this club. So whether we can get Sam Allardyce, we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I think he'd be the ideal choice. Not Steve Cottrell, I don't know why is that even an option. Same with Nigel Atkins, same with Graham Alexander, Carrick. Like, I don't want an experimental kind of manager coming into his first job like a Rooney or a Terry or a Carrick. Simon Grayson, probably not, because he didn't do that well at Sunderland. Mark Hughes is actually a decent shout as a manager, because he actually took over Man City when the owners that are about to take us over. This one might actually happen. It's a bit of an outsider one, but I think Mark Hughes could realistically happen. Obviously, he's been out of a job since a couple of years now from Southampton, so I think he'd be a very good manager. Did really well at Stoke for a number of years, and I wouldn't mind Mark Hughes at the club. I think he'd do a nice job. Darren Moore, I think he's been brilliant at West Brom and Doncaster, but I'm not 100. Maybe that's a maybe. I'd kind of be happy with Darren Moore, but I wouldn't be over the moon like Sam Allardyce would be the absolute ideal choice. Daniel Stendhal, I don't think most of these are probably not going to be recommended, the remaining here. Lee Johnson's an okay manager. I wouldn't mind him either. I think he did well at Bristol City. Kind of a similar situation to us, and maybe would give the club a bit of stability, because obviously, he stayed at Bristol City for a good 4 or 5 years. So maybe that's what we need at the club, because it is our 7th. I think it'll be our 8th now. 8th manager in about 5 years. So I wouldn't mind Lee Johnson. I think he did alright at Bristol City, but whether he's got enough to get us promoted, we'll have to wait and see. Stevie Mac. A little part of me would love Steve McLaren to come back and just third time lucky get us promoted and complete this crazy, 7 years since obviously that playoff final against QPR. So yeah, I genuinely that would be quite a fun little manager to have back at the club, just for the brilliance of him and kind of propelling us. Clough got us quite stable, but Steve McLaren took us to that next level. Alex Neil won't join us. Phil Neville, no thank you. Martin O'Neill, not really, especially after such a big Forest player. Pardew, no thank you. Do not think about Pardew. Chris Powell, I just don't think he's quite good enough for the Championship, and would be quite a big step backwards. But I love Chris Powell as a person, and when he was the assistant manager with Pearson and McLaren actually. Gary Rowett obviously got us in the playoffs, but I just don't think he'll leave Millwall, and that is about it, because I don't think either of these two, Paul Warne or Paul Tisdale, will be the one. So yeah, I just think especially on these odds, I think the first two straight away you got to rule out. Eddie Howe says he wants a break, so you got to rule him out. So it's Cook, Allardyce, and Mark Hughes. I think they're the three standout in my honest opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comment section down below. The reason I'm doing this video is just because obviously I do the Derby Career Mode, and a lot of people will be just commenting, what do you think about this? Cocu being sacked, and, well, not sacked, but you know what I mean, mutual consent, and who do you think should be the next manager? So I can just point you guys towards this video. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this little bit of a different video, just a bit of my thoughts about what should happen next. And yeah, it's kind of unknown, because it's a little bit exciting, because, well, you never know. It really does depend on what the next owners do decide to do financially with the club. So hopefully guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you do leave a like for it if you did enjoy it, and see you soon. Bye.